Hi, I'm Sarah.
And I'm David. Let's talk about the Survivor 44 finale, which is kind of a surprise ending, kind of not, but really exciting. And I can't wait to dig into especially your thoughts about it, Sarah, because I think we're feeling a little differently about it. So
look, lots of thoughts,
yes,
lots of feelings.
Yes.
We made it to the finale. But first, if you're new to this channel, please click subscribe, and also where have you been? And also like this video.
Yes, please. And if you've not been here, you need to support us on Patreon.
Obviously.
Patreon.com/Nerdtainment. It's only like $1 a month. Come on.
That's right, y'all. How excited are we? Look, it's been no secret. We've loved Survivor 44.
Oh, yeah.
It did not go wrong for us.
Fan favorite characters.
There was some twists and turns during this finale.
Absolutely.
And we're going to break it all down. But first, let's say congratulations, Jam.
Congrats. Congrats. I said that the weirdest way.
Were you being Minnesotan?
Yeah. Congrats, Jam. Oh, wow.
It's your bag and congrats.
I got to say, I was kind of being cheeky, like talking to friends other than, I don't know if I said this to you, but with other friends who watch Survivor, like leading up to the finale today, they were asking who I thought was going to win. And I said, I think Carson should win. Mm-hmm. I want Carolyn to win. Mm-hmm. And I think Jam will win.
That's right.
And I took a risk with that projection, and it ended up paying off.
Yeah.
Much better than my draft from the beginning of the season, but we'll get to that later.
I believe you did not do well.
Dead last.
In that. No, David walked in to watch the finale with me tonight, and he was like, so, who do you think? Who do you want? I was like, okay, I'm just going to watch it.
You're like, back off.
But you did give me that prediction, and you know what? You predicted correctly.
Yes.
I was surprised down to the very last minute, to the last vote.
Yeah.
I was very surprised with this outcome.
I was still surprised.
Yeah.
Like, based on how Final Tribal went, I was not predicting that balance of vote, much less Jam winning the whole thing. So we got a lot to talk about here.
Yes, let's start at the beginning of this amazing finale. Carolyn starts out screaming, arriving on a boat. Because of course she does.
Because they're on the new beach.
We started the episode with her going, ah! As they arrive on the new boat. I love the editors they merge it from the brilliance. Congrats. Give them an Emmy.
It's so good. And then they're just sort of getting settled, right, on the new beach. And Jam has a classic Jam moment where he like pretends like he dug around and he found a new idol. And they're like, oh, I just want to touch it. I just want to touch it. And he's like, it's wood, you idiots. Like, no, I didn't find the idol.
Right. Of course. They get on the new beach. And I thought it was interesting that Jeff teased that we would have an idol on this new beach, but of course he teased it because no one found it.
Yeah.
Ultimately, but we're going to do a lot of searching at the top. Carolyn's convinced that she can and will find this idol. And I thought, because she was like, I know how to find an idol.
She does.
But she just found the birdcage one.
Yeah, but she had to find like a clue, right?
It was like presented.
But she had to find a clue that gave her the key or whatever. Yeah. She found something.
Okay.
Yeah.
Still, no one's going to find it, but everyone is looking.
I got to say, I loved the way that they edited this together, because you always start the finale with like a recap of everybody's game, right? And this like preview of like, how has everybody played so far? And like, how could they potentially win? Cutting this in the midst of this big idol search, I thought was great editing and story producing, because it wasn't like we're just sitting around listening to them talk about their games. We're like seeing them all do something, and we're seeing Jam say like, I want a flashy game, like I need to find this idol, as he walks by the tree with the idol in it. Like multiple people walked right underneath that idol hanging in that tree. So I just really loved the way that whole package was edited together.
Yeah, we get our little sound bites, right? Heidi's happy to be at Final Five. Carolyn's being herself. Jam wants a flashy game.
Yeah.
Carson's about strategy. Lauren feels alone.
Yeah.
We do start to get, the seeds planting here. Lauren, Jam, and Heidi are talking about Carson as the threat.
They are.
And then Lauren even brings Carolyn in.
Oh, yeah. And Carolyn's saying, I know he has the best game so far. And so when do I pull the trigger? It's not like necessarily I'm ready to do it now, but I know I have to do it at some point. Like, he's going to win.
There was this really funny moment between Carson and Lauren, because Lauren's been like, Carson's the threat. Carson's the threat.
Yeah.
And she sits down with Carson and she's like, yeah, you're the threat. And he's like, yeah, you and me.
Yeah, you and me.
You and me really are.
He's like, I've heard your name. I'm sure you've heard mine.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of us.
She's like, yeah, you. And he's like, yeah, us. Yeah. Really, it's us. Yeah. I was like, what game are we playing here, guys?
I know.
Mind the games.
Yeah. So then we go to immunity and reward on day 24. Only a few days left of this game.
It's only day 24, guys.
I know.
Okay.
They still have 2 more full days.
It should be day 30 something.
It should be. I should go back to that. But they're playing for spaghetti and cake. There's the whole thing about carrot cake over chocolate cake.
Okay, you guys, let's weigh in.
Weigh in, please, because I'm a carrot cake girly.
Okay. No, literally, he was like chocolate cake, and they were like, cool. And then he said carrot cake, they erupt. And I go, what?
Yeah.
And then Jeff goes, what? And then David goes, same, carrot cake.
Delish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
I was very chocolate cake growing up, but now, I don't know. There's something about carrot cake. It's something I don't have a lot, So I'm like,
Yeah, why would we?
And it's sweeter than you think it is because carrots have a good amount of sugar.
I don't need them. Thank you. Hard pass. Give me the chocolate cake all day long.
So this is the one where they have to sort of fly through this jungle gym of sorts to collect a series of keys, with the final key being on that like rod thing that they have to get off. Unlock a chest, tie through a bunch of knots, climb a ladder, and put together a puzzle. And I think we're both looking at this and we're like, oh, a puzzle.
Oh, a puzzle?
I wonder who could win.
Who 3D printed this one?
And Sarah can attest, I was over it at this point. Yep. I was like, oh, great, 3D printing, eye roll. Okay, we get it. He practiced in advance of the game. I fully turned on Carson.
He did.
It was maybe it was a little harsh.
It was not pretty.
But I root for the underdog.
Yep.
And Carson did not have an underdog storyline at this point, so I turned on him.
David and I almost broke up. I was like, you can help yourself out. I am not turning on my boy Carson. If he can win this, then he deserves to win this.
And you know what? It wasn't like he struggled the whole way and then made up for it with this puzzle. He and Heidi were leading the way the entire time. Like, yes. It was the two of them neck and neck, back and forth at every stage of this. Mm-hmm. So it really was sort of a 2-person race. Carolyn was really in it towards the beginning with like the jungle gym and finding the keys, but then she got hung up on that last key in a way that was it sort of mirrored her first moments in Survivor when she was trying to throw that ring onto the rod.
She really wanted to bookend her career here. Remember the premiere episode when we first met Carolyn and she was just screaming.
And she took her pants off.
And we were like, what is happening? And she was very much doing the same thing. Her and that stick getting a key off is her nightmare. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
But like you said, it's Heidi and Carson at the end here at the puzzle. And even though Heidi is doing a fine job, Carson is flying through this.
Carson literally is like picking up pieces and being like, this one is K3, this one is L11. Like he knows where all these pieces go. He puts together the frame very easily. I think you were saying like, it could fall apart.
Yeah,
like, can you keep it together? And there were moments where it started to teeter and I go, fall, please fall, please fall. I don't know what came over me. I was rooting against him.
Yes. I had to put up with this. I was seriously kicking David up.
She really was.
Carson wins.
He wins. He blows them away.
I cheer.
Yeah.
And he decides to take Jam with him on this reward. Which,
and Carolyn's like,
I mean, we're all like, is it going to be Carolyn or Jam? It's going to be one of the two.
Yeah.
And I was really worried that he was picking Jam so that the two of them could go against Carolyn. But it seems like it was quite the opposite, where he felt like he's going to pick Jam so that he can sort of monitor his behavior and direct his vote.
Make sure that Jam didn't go against. Well, he couldn't go against him, but he just wanted
but if he's separate and Carson had Carolyn with him, Jam Jam rallies those votes against Carolyn.
Yeah. Carson has a difficult task here because he's been the one who's been keeping Tika together this whole time. We know that, but he can't bring both of them. He can only bring one. So he makes the choice to bring Jam Jam with him. And their conversation is around Jam Jam wanting Carolyn out and Carson insisting that Lauren is the threat and she needs to go. Because I think Carson's ultimate plan is still to sit Tika 3 in the finals and for him to say, I'm the ringleader. I did everything. These two crazies could barely work together and I managed them.
Yeah, this is when we really kind of fully understand Carson's plan. He says we have a better chance, all of us, to sit together. And I'm like, well, that's not true.
Yeah, no.
But that is a valid approach for Carson to sit with his Tika fellows where he was like, and I was the manager of the zoo.
Did this.
Yeah. I led us here and look what I did. And that's fair for him.
Yeah.
But it would have been better for all Tikas to sit by themselves. So if you keep 3 strong here, it does get a little tricky.
Yeah. But Carson is framing it as like Lauren is really well liked by the jury. Look how many Ratus are on the jury. We can't keep her. I mean, a similar argument could potentially be made for Heidi. But Carson is just more focused on Lauren and her sort of social game and connections with the jury.
Yeah. It was interesting to hear because I did not see this approach coming. I really thought that Carolyn was going to be 5th place. I thought she was the clear
100%
target, especially if Carson saved himself. It could have been Carson otherwise.
That's right.
But that's not what we're hearing here. After the Vava group, not at Sanctuary.
Right, back at camp.
They're like, look, who else could it be? Jam Jam?
I guess it's Jam Jam. I mean,
Carolyn?
it's the three of them, right? Discussing. And the only person at Reward who's eligible to be voted out is Jam Jam. So they're all kind of like rallying around that in conversation. We do hear from Lauren, her saying like, I need to find the idol. I'm in danger. This is not good for me. So she kind of has that feeling in her gut. Like, it's me. But they're all talking. And I'm wondering if the gals are going to rally together and get Jam Jam out because Lauren says, Carolyn, Jam Jam was throwing your name out.
Yes. Lauren knows how to just pass on some information.
Yeah. Yep.
And Carolyn's like,
yeah.
At the sound of that.
Yeah. She's not feeling good about that.
Yeah.
And I mean, as much as Carson was saying Lauren is so well liked by the jury, the ladies are saying Jam Jam is too well liked, which is actually incredibly true. He is so liked this season. And I loved the confessional moment from Carolyn where she goes, maybe I will vote for Jam Jam.
She gave us a look.
An evil glare. I was like, whoa.
That was incredible. Now we get the reward people are going to come back. And we have just massive awkwardness.
Oh, huge awkwardness. Hugs. I loved Carolyn gives Jam Jam a hug and she's rolling her eyes behind his back. And smelling his breath. That thing continues, which is so weird. But Jam Jam immediately is like, what's going on?
Yeah, feeling a change of energy. feels
like,
different here.
It's no surprise that they were talking about you, Jam Jam, because you're the only person who could be voted out who wasn't there.
Yes, but I'd like to point out that you guys were talking about them as well.
Yeah, right.
That is just kind of the game that we're in.
That's right.
We're all talking about each other, okay?
Yep. Carson is saying Lauren needs to go. Because like Lauren kind of wanders off at some point, and Carson's like, I don't care. It's Lauren. It's Lauren. And Carolyn is like, well, I think we need a Tika on the jury.
I was like,
right in front of everybody.
Carolyn, this is the kind of stuff that will make Jam Jam vote your butt out.
I know. It really is feeling Carolyn versus Jam Jam at this point. Which one of them is going to go?
Really concerning. And Carson is doing his best. He's like, I'll just be clear. I'm voting Lauren out. Like, it just makes sense. They're all going to vote Lauren out. And then she was like, yeah, put a Tika on jury. And Jam Jam's like, excuse
that means me.
I was like, oh my gosh, these two.
It is, there's just tension. You know, those two have been at each other as much as they've been working together this entire season. They really are so similar and like so like family, to where this is a great thing for producers to latch onto for story purposes to throw us off. But I think it's them just kind of bickering and picking at each other. And ultimately, obviously, we see the way this vote goes. But before we go to tribal, we get this moment with Carson and Jam Jam by themselves. And they're like, do we need to get Caroline out?
Yes.
What's she doing?
She is being a wild card like she always has been. And we also do see Jam Jam and Lauren touch base where Jam Jam's like, look, I pitched Carolyn to Carson.
Yeah.
So we don't know, but this is when Lauren walks to the tree where the idol is.
Oh my God.
And they just kind of cut away. And we are left with, oh, wait, did she get it?
Yeah.
Did she see it? She was right there.
Yeah.
So we go into tribal, not clear if anyone has found this idol, specifically Lauren.
That's such a smart last shot to take us into tribal, because it's like, wait, what? Are they going to not tell us that she found it?
Once again, they did not.
They sit down and Lauren's like, we don't even need to vote. I'm going. I know it in my gut. No one has been talking to me. And Carolyn and Heidi are like, excuse me.
Excuse me.
We talked to you all day.
Like we were trapped together by ourselves and like had a whole conversation. Did we not?
Yeah.
And Lauren's like, well, like it was like talking.
Right.
But I don't feel like it was like talking.
Right.
And Carolyn's like literally like, excuse me.
Also, they are potentially gaslighting her. You know what I mean? Like, so.
But she's potentially gaslighting them. Like it's a very confusing, like what game are we playing?
Yes. But she's just really feeling it, you know, like, and it just really becomes a tribal totally focused on her. Heidi's saying like, you know, maybe Lauren has an idol. We don't even know what she might have. And Lauren's like, she's and
no, at first she did a face. Yes, she was like,
we'll see, maybe.
And I was like, girl, you can't fake it. I saw that face. You have an idol.
Yeah. And I was like, do you think she has it, or do you think she's trying to make them think she has it? And so we're like trying to figure that out. Then as soon as Lauren started crying, we were both like,
she doesn't have it. Nope.
She would not be crying this hard.
She quickly went into her goodbye speech. Which is a red flag that you're about to leave.
She's so proud of herself. She wants her boys to be proud of her.
Yeah.
She is a single mom. She's had this whole transformation. Who have I become? Right? Like that's what Jeff really latches onto as the host in this moment, where he's like, this is the narrative for the survivor journey, you know?
Well, we know at this point that Lauren is probably going because she is crying. It was a beautiful moment.
It really, I was tearing, and Sarah turned to me. She was like, I am dead inside. Why are
I
you
know.
crying?
I was like, what are you doing? Why? What? I mean, it is a beautiful thought for I mean, I was raised by a single mom. Like it is so tough.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was like, David, except Lauren's a Leo, David's a Leo. It's like a thing they have.
Cosmically connected. Yeah. Okay. So I was feeling it for her. And then I also thought it was interesting that they decided to show us Lauren voting for Jam Jam, because that to me as like a super fan, like constant viewer, I was like, obviously she's going. They're showing us her vote and nobody else's. Like, come on.
Well, the curse is if you write Jam Jam's name down,
you go to the jury.
You go sit on the jury.
So that's what she did. But I was surprised to see the Heidi vote. Did we ever figure out who the Heidi vote was?
Where in this?
Because they voted. It was Jam Jam, then Lauren, Heidi, Lauren.
It was Jam Jam.
Jam Jam voted Heidi.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Just to make sure.
Okay.
If Lauren played that idol.
Oh, smart. Okay. Got it.
He
good for him.
Yeah. Exactly. He played a little extra card there just in case.
But
so
Carolyn.
No, we got a Jam Jam Lauren, Heidi, Lauren. She's going to head on out. Beautifully well played, Lauren.
Yeah.
She had a good run. I honestly, I think at one point around here, I was like, I can't believe Lauren just left. I can't believe we had 3 Tikas still in the game at this point.
Insane. Because this whole time we were talking about like the Tika tribe is framing Lauren as the threat, and that's why she needs to go. But the reality is they are the threat. Tika 3 is the threat. Like I was just sort of like noticing that they weren't saying we're going to win this, but you have to get Lauren out in order for us 3 to be sitting there. Like, I don't think Lauren was really a threat to beat them.
And I just thought strategically, this is when you start chiseling away, because I thought the best approach was to sit by yourself as a Tika against a Ratu and Ahsoka.
Yeah.
And you get all the Tika credit.
Yeah. Tika ran the game, the entire game post-merge, and I'm the last Tika standing.
I couldn't believe it. Here we are, losing Lauren at 5th.
Yeah.
3 Tikas standing plus Heidi.
So
take us right into our last immunity challenge.
Yes, our favorite.
The classic drop the ball.
I wrote the left-right ball rolly thingy.
Yep, spinny volley. We should really be in charge of titling these things.
Truly.
Left-right, drop the ball, spinny thing.
Yeah.
And we had tons of jokes about how Carolyn probably 3D printed this and she was going to shine. This was going to be her challenge out of the blue.
Yeah. She was going to win this. You know, she was just going to pull it out.
This is the moment. Yeah. Carolyn was going to be like, no, I know this one.
This one.
But this one I can do.
I was like, can you imagine if she just saved it till the end of the season?
Yeah. She's like,
pulled out an immunity win.
Boom. Boom, 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 boom.
But no,
that's
she's screaming as she does, the balls. And then she almost drops at one point, but saves herself. But then she is the first one out.
And she immediately put it in, and we were like,
the timing was bad. It was bad timing.
You needed to take a beat.
Yeah.
Give it space, put it in, and she just screwed up her timing. She is going to be the first one out.
Yeah.
Well, she did get really emotional before this challenge started, we should say. Like, Jeff was like, are you tearing up? Yeah. She was like, look where I am. This is gorgeous. I'm here. It was a beautiful moment.
Yeah. Yes. And then Jam Jam drops when they get to 4 balls. Jam Jam, Carson, and Heidi all make it to 4 balls.
Yeah.
And then Jam Jam drops. And then it's Heidi and Carson. And I'm just watching Carson. And again, I'm kind of over it. But he's so calm. It really is impressive. But I'm like, he has to have 3D printed this. And he probably knows the timing that he needs to do and blah, blah, blah. But like,
he has a graph of when you drop the ball and time it out.
He is so zen. Heidi is a little more frantic than he is. And like almost dropping balls. And he's just...
I wouldn't call Heidi frantic.
But I'm saying relative to Carson.
Yes. Carson did look very zen. But Heidi was like right there. I thought she looked good, even though she had like a bit more energy.
Yeah.
But Carson's going to screw this up.
Yeah.
Heidi's going to take it.
She won, which was so exciting because it was her only individual immunity win all season. And she needed this.
Yeah.
She would have been gone for sure.
Very excited. Well, I guess I didn't realize we were going to potentially have 3 Tikas at the end.
Yeah.
But had she not win, that very well could have been the case.
Yeah.
But then she just goes ahead and hits us.
She comes right out and says it.
With some info that made my head go, whatever.
But she's picking up on what we've talked about before on this channel, that making fire in the end is the ultimate move. And even if you win that last immunity, you are not safe. You have to win fire in order to win this game. And she didn't even see last season.
Yeah,
when that blew up in Cassidy's face.
Yes. Look, whoever wins this final immunity has already earned their place in the final, period.
We are saying this to future juries of Survivor.
Seriously,
just because you don't publicly see them win this immunity doesn't take away from the fact that they won that immunity and won their way into the finals.
Yeah, this whole drama around the show of making fire being your winning move is unacceptable.
I don't like it.
I don't like it. And so when I heard her say that, I was like, oh, so this is how she wins.
We've been saying it for a while. This is why we don't like this final fire making challenge. There's too much weight put into it, right? Which there's much to discuss about that with the way this, ends up. But there's just this feeling there. And listen, when you see it happen, it's exciting, right? When someone gets their flame, it's like this big, exciting hullabaloo. Oh my God, we're all like, it's tense. So I understand the human instinct to like place a lot of value in that.
Yeah.
But that is one piece of the whole game,
Thank you.
So
thank you.
Heidi, though, is, I think, rightly recognizing, especially for her.
Yes.
She needs to she says, like, this is a cherry on top of my game.
Yeah. I mean, she's correct in that her resume is not super strong.
Yeah.
That these people are hard competitors. And so she might need that little bump in her resume.
Mhm.
So this is, I feel like, the first time we've gone back to camp and everyone's like, cool, well, I'll make fire.
Yeah.
I'll make fire. Here, let me just hop over here and practice. And just about everybody is just comfortable with fire.
Not Carson. Carson's in tears. Even I was still cold-hearted toward him in this moment. I was like, it's too late to paint Carson as an underdog. Sorry. I was brutal.
He was brutal.
Public apology to Carson. I was too hard on you in this finale.
Thank you. Thank you for making that clear. This was so sad to watch because Carson is like, I played a great game. And now here I am. I'm not very good at this fire.
I'm not good at fire.
Yeah.
And he's, it's like he's struggling with his self-confidence and like questioning everything. And it is like, I think that if he sits in the final 3, he's going to win. And he's feeling like, oh my God, I'm so close. And my dream is crumbling in front of my face. And I couldn't figure out how to 3D print fire, you know?
I mean, you should have figured that out. This was beautiful. I mean, we're seeing like Carson's sort of story here, but we see JFJ and Carolyn, who again, in this like sibling vibe, are like, I already made it. Oh, mine's still lasting. I'm good.
You're on an incline. Well, no, I think yours actually is nestled pretty.
Yeah.
Well, my fire is still burning.
I'm good. I won. Like, they are hilarious, which I love. But then cut to Jam Jam being like, Carson, I can't let you go out like this.
Baby, come here.
Yes.
It's fully like a ghost pottery moment where Jam Jam wraps his arms around Carson and is like, here's how you do the magnesium.
Are we in a romantic movie all of a sudden? Like teaching the girl to play pool. It's
Truly.
Like, baby, come this way. What?
But Jam Jam is like kind of just having a human moment where he's like, I can't watch this man struggle. He is my brother. Take it till the end. Right? And I'm like, Jam Jam, I don't know if you should do this, but
no, odds were he was not going against Jam Jam.
Yeah.
So please teach him, help him.
Yeah.
It was really lovely to see. And I thought this whole back at camp was so lovely because they're all just like, sure, I'm in fire. Let's go.
I loved the moment where Heidi's practicing and she goes, I did it. She's like so fast.
Yeah.
And then Carson's like, I'm an Eagle Scout. And I'm not very good at this.
Bad press for Eagle Scouts. This isn't good. Yikes. Okay, let's head on into this tribal.
Walking into that tribal, the jury is beaming that Heidi won immunity. They're like, oh my God, like this is so exciting. We thought you were toast, girlfriend.
Yeah, we did. They're very excited. It's very cute. They basically get right to the point of
it's her decision.
Heidi needs to make this decision. She's like, I'm still thinking about it. And I'm like, really? Are you really thinking about it still?
Yeah.
No, you aren't.
Yeah.
She goes ahead and tells us Carolyn's moving to final 3 first.
Yep. And
then she says Carson's going to make some fire.
And I'm going to go with you.
And then she said against me.
Yeah. We get like sweet moments from Carolyn and Jam Jam as they're sort of ushered into the final 3 by Heidi here. And Jeff sort of gives them the floor. And Carolyn gets a great emotional moment about like being you and being weird and, playing the game true to who you are. And Jam Jam is just like, I cannot believe that like I'm in the final 3. Like, what is happening right now? So they're both moved to have made it, but I couldn't help but feel like they both were kind of like, wish Heidi wasn't making fire against Carson right now,
No, they're like, Carson, do it.
Yeah.
Carson, get it.
Yeah. And Carson does a decent job.
You know what? He did get a fire going.
He did.
No slouch.
No.
But Heidi is going to just break a record.
Heidi is the fastest fire maker in history.
3 minutes.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I don't know. I can't do anything in 3 minutes. What's 3 minutes?
I don't even know.
Like, I barely got out of bed in 3 minutes.
Truly.
Like,
I can't even believe, like, did they show the entire fire making challenge? Because it was probably 3 minutes long.
I feel like it was more than 3 minutes. Yeah. Like we saw the entire thing.
Yeah.
3 minutes is nothing. But it was like surging immediately. Yeah. David was like, Carson's got this.
He's got it. I thought there was going to be some, I was like,
yeah. And I was like, no, it's literally singeing the rope. And then boom, it went.
Yeah.
And that was it. Heidi won. And we had to say goodbye to Carson.
And I know he, his speech wasn't quite as moving as some of the others because he's just 20. Like he's not lived
a baby.
a ton of life. But it really is like he's the youngest person that I can remember really, really rooting for. And like believing that he could win. The fact that he accomplished that is huge.
Absolutely. We discount you very quickly when you were under 20.
Yeah. Was he under 20 or was he 20?
No, I think he was 20.
Okay.
It was like 19, 20. I don't
Still,
know.
Can't even drink.
He's too young for this.
Yeah.
But no, I quickly was on the Carson train. He's a Sagittarius, so I have a Carson connection with him.
Okay.
I was really sad for him to go because I really felt like I wanted him to win this season.
Okay. I thought he should win. I thought he played the best game.
He should is a tough. Yes, I think he played the best game, but I also think Carolyn played the best game. I wanted both of them to win.
Yeah.
That was a tough one for me.
It was tough, but great game, Carson. You're the type that could return on a future season if that sort of thing ever happens again. But yeah, I know a lot of people who are rooting for Carson to win. So sure, there were a lot of broken hearts tonight.
It didn't quite have the tears that Jesse gave us last season when he lost in Fire, when literally everybody was like, how dare you take Jesse out?
I know.
It was like, yeah, you got to take Carson out.
You got to go.
It makes sense.
Yeah.
And here we are with Heidi, Jam Jam, and Carolyn as our final three.
Yeah.
Wow
is right. Who would have? I want to meet the person who predicted this final three. We didn't even pick Heidi in the draft.
You guys got Heidi in the draft.
You guys got Heidi. So, and Carolyn was in the final round, and Jam Jam was in the final round. Those were some of the final picks.
That's right.
In the draft.
That is correct.
So this is unexpected, but delightful.
Delightful.
And I love this new tradition of bringing back the jury and getting confessionals from them.
Oh, right.
In terms of like how these people have played, so that we're not just hearing from the people. Like we've already done that, right? At the beginning of the episode, we hear the people talk about their games and their own words. Right. Now we get the jury's impression of people's games leading into this final tribal, which I love that little bit of insight going into the tribal. And of course they edit it so it seems
it's very produced,
fairly balanced, right? You know, Jam Jam, people are calling out that he like played the middle. He played a very deliberate game. He was hilarious, well liked, all of that kind of stuff.
Yes, true. Another bookend to Carolyn's game is that she sat with the producer in the confessional.
I know.
And remember at premiere, we opened this show with the producer being like, just talk about yourself. And we were like, we've never heard a producer speak in a confessional.
Yeah.
And then they did it again at the end. And she was like, remember when we talked in the beginning?
He's like, yeah, you couldn't even introduce yourself on camera. And it's a sweet moment from Carolyn saying, you know, I really didn't even think I was going to make merch.
Yeah.
Like, I cannot believe I'm here.
Right.
This is insane.
Yeah.
The jury sort of focused on Heidi's huge move that she made, you know, making fire against Carson. And then Carolyn was strategic. She was emotional. She used that to her advantage. She always knew what she was doing. I felt that the edit on the jury's, you know, impression of Carolyn was weighted a little bit in her favor. I was like, that was a good jury edit for her.
It did feel like they valued Carolyn, which I was like, good.
Yeah.
I'm glad you agree.
Yes.
Although I'm still at this point thinking Heidi has it because Heidi made
she
fire.
Did the move.
Yep. I thought that was all that it was going to take because last season they were like, if you had just been fired, Destiny.
Yeah.
Fred,
thank you.
One of the best Survivor seasons ever. Thanks, Sarah and David, for your commentary. You're welcome.
You're welcome, Fred.
Thank you.
We love you. So then we go to
our final tribal. Here we go.
And it starts, Heidi is hot at the start of this because they're like, each of you please describe your game. And Jam Jam gets into his game and she's like, bup, 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 bup.
She's like, may I just interject?
You rode coattails.
And he was like, I just wanted you to think I was right.
Yeah.
It was all part of my plan.
And then Heidi starts talking about how she sort of lost control of the game, but was like still trying to be strategic. And she's getting to like bad sound effects.
She did.
Yeah.
It was like and I was like, wait, what? Wait, what? I was like, Heidi's winning.
I know.
Just made fire.
I
what
know.
Are you talking about?
It was like kind of a rough start for her because she's interrupting, she's getting the bad sound effects. It's sort of like, ooh, is she going to play too aggressive in this final tribal? But she kind of settled in.
She did. And honestly, I feel like the overall vibe was that everybody had positives.
Yeah.
Right? Each of the final 3 said valuable things, and the jury was like, yeah, you did that well.
Yeah. And it was like, we saw, I think, a good number of moments where the jury, first of all, they were like setting up certain questions for certain people, particularly Carolyn, and like physically, like,
oh, Carson.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, good. Yes, like they're like rooting for them from the bench to like say the correct thing.
I really felt like Carson and Franny were like, Carolyn, tell the folks.
Carolyn, what about that thing we talked about?
Remember when you did that thing? If you could just explain it to everybody else.
Yes.
It really felt like that. So by the time we get the votes, I was like pretty shocked.
I know.
About that. But Seth. Finale super chat time. Sarah and David's videos reign supreme as always, and can't wait for Sarah's final 5. I confess, y'all, I'm exhausted just thinking about it.
I know.
It's going to be a full day.
My goodness. You have a lot of questions to write tonight.
I do, but get excited and please tune back in tomorrow for all of that.
Please. But I would say Jam Jam is continuing to highlight his strength in this game by being charming as heck. He's making jokes. He's making the jury laugh.
He does.
He just starts with like, I know you all love me.
Yeah.
You know, he just is like that guy that everyone's like, oh, Jam Jam, you're the best. We love you. And he is also making valid points saying like, I didn't ride Carson's coattails. I used him for information. I read all of you.
All of y'all.
I read all of your emotions because I would like look at that twinkle in your eye when you were telling me things about your family and blah, blah, blah. And I would watch it disappear when you were lying to me. So, I think some of that argument really resonated with people, clearly.
Yeah. And I did love that Carolyn got to say, look, this is, because even Jam Jam was like, Carolyn, you didn't have to use your idol. Yeah. You used an idol, but you didn't have to. And Carolyn was like, look, I needed Danny to go for these reasons. And so I was just going to make sure, because sure, you can tell me one thing, but I don't trust these ladies over here.
Yeah.
So I really was happy to hear her say that.
And she also,
I don't know what else she said.
Well, she definitely got a moment of like, yes, I was emotional, but all those tears were real. Like I did nothing to manipulate any of you emotionally in this game. I was 100% myself the whole time. Not everybody can say that when they get to the final 3 on Survivor. And I think Carolyn could. And like, that's true, Yeah. So that was a good moment for her. Heidi, was discussing the big fire move. Definitely that was like big for her. She talks about how she had to like kind of control her emotions, especially being a woman in science. Like she hasn't been able to like be as big and has had to kind of manage when she's showing what in order to succeed in life. She's calling out, you could vote me the oldest female winner ever. Like, let's make some history tonight. Really, making some pleas to the jury that I think are valid, but weren't enough.
Again, I thought all 3 of them sounded lovely.
Yeah.
I couldn't.
Me too.
Sometimes it's very clear. Like last season, when we ended that final tribal, I was like, did Gabler just
I was like, I don't know what I'm watching.
Right. It was very clear that Gabler had won, even though it did not logically compute.
Because they had not set it up at all season. Yeah.
So this one, I'm like, everyone sounds lovely. I kind of felt like Heidi was going for this big move, but now I don't necessarily know.
Yeah.
Carolyn got to say a little bit. Jam Jam got to say a little bit. I have no idea how the vote's going at this point.
I was not expecting 0 votes for Carolyn.
No.
I thought Franny was going to vote for Carolyn. And I thought Carson might, just based on their like
I couldn't tell.
Eagerness for her to do well in this final tribal. But I guess everyone's just got Carolyn love like we do, but it doesn't necessarily translate to a vote to win.
I guess.
Because when the votes are unveiled.
Wow.
Our theory about the strength of making fire goes out the window because Heidi gets 1 vote.
Danny was the only one who agreed with us.
Danny, yeah. And
well, I don't agree with it, so I'm glad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. And Jam Jam got the rest Swept it almost.
Wow.
Unreal.
I can't believe, I thought it was going to be a closer vote all around.
Yeah.
I thought everyone was getting votes. I'm very shocked that Carolyn got no votes, but then again, I'm not, because I said if two Tikas sit next to each other, they cancel it out.
Yeah.
You either get no votes or you get one. You can't. That was to Heidi's credit to set herself up with Jam Jam and Carolyn, who I think had similar games.
Agreed.
But clearly Jam Jam sold it enough that he took those Tika votes.
Yeah, I think ultimately I have to wonder if it was people still at the end of the day believed that Jam Jam was more in control of, you know, his game and his understanding of it, and Carolyn maybe just kind of like locked into the final three because nobody took her seriously. I don't know. It was just really surprising to me that she got 0 votes, because I think she played a really good game.
I agree. I think she played a brilliant game. I think that she was really smart strategically. She had an amazing gut or instincts. They were very correct. And she made moves without Jam Jam. She was not lumped in with him whatsoever.
Yeah.
Whereas I think Jam Jam's social game was really, really good. He was almost voted out so many times, and he charmed his way back into people's hearts.
He did.
So I think they both played well, but I just give strategy a bit more weight. But I think we just missed some things that were said in this final jury here, because I think Jam Jam must have sold some other strategic moves, right?
Yeah. But I also just think like the likability factor that they were talking about, the ladies were talking about at Final Five. Jam Jam is too well liked. They were right. You just want to vote for him.
He makes you smile. Laugh and smile right there.
Yeah.
He was like, you can vote for me and I'll be the first Puerto Rican man
to win tonight.
Hey, you know, like he just built off of what Heidi said and like made everyone laugh about it.
And when he was talking about the like physical portion of the game and Jeff sort of commenting on challenges, he's like, Jeff, you were so annoying, but I need, you know, he just had this looseness about him. And even when he was like teasing people, making fun, he could always make you smile. And I think that really meant something this season.
It worked.
Yep.
8-1 was the vote. Way to go, Jam Jam.
Way Paul. To go. Paul, thank you
so much. Recaps, rankings, and interviews. That's right.
Appreciate you, Paul.
All right. Jam Jam won tonight.
Yeah.
But Chantel, who drafted him, did
not. She did beat me, though.
She did beat David. So we'll give her that. Once again, she's going to be very mad that she picked the winner. Just like she won Taylor last year, picked Taylor last year on Big Brother and did not win the draft as well.
Sorry about it.
She's going to get real mad about that. But congrats for picking the winner.
Congrats.
Chantel.
But listen, it's not about picking the winner. It's about picking the best team.
Apparently.
And that was Sarah.
This kid right here.
I feel like you've been on a weird streak. Have you not?
It's not weird. I would say I'm just very good at this.
Sure. Good at guessing who's going to be good this season.
Look, I'm intuitive. What can I say? Carson was my last standing, but I did take the lead. Jesse was right behind me. He got 50 points, 6 behind me. But you guys, audience, you had Heidi. You also had Bruce, so you didn't get a lot of points. But you in it. Something.
I had a pretty pitiful showing, but there's always next time.
That's right. Stick with it, David.
Yes.
I think you've won before.
I have, maybe once.
Thank you, the CAC 16.
Thank you for the super sticker.
Thank you for being here.
Yes.
You guys, thank you everyone in the chat for being here as well. A reminder, I've got the final 5 tomorrow. I'm talking to all of them. So I will be putting them out all day tomorrow.
Yeah.
That's exciting. We're going to have what do you call it? Like a recap, a whole season touch base with us from the draft, Jesse, Chantel.
Yes.
That'll be next week. So stay tuned for that. We got to do what word am I looking for?
I think it's a recap, a retrospective, a postmortem, if you will.
Postmortem.
You know?
Something like that.
Look back on this season.
We're going to do that next week. And then otherwise, we are wrapping up on our Patreon, our Amazing Race Season 7 rewatch that we did.
Yes.
And then we're going to jump into Survivor Millennials
Or
versus
Survivor.
Gen X rewatch
Yes.
on Patreon. That'll be starting in June, since we'll have a little time off here between Survivor seasons.
Yes.
So if you're interested in rewatching that, David, for some reason, skipped that season.
I know. It's weird.
I don't know what happened.
I don't know.
But we got to get him in it.
Yes.
So we're going to do that over on Patreon. Join us over there.
Join us over there. Yes. And if you are joining us later, please leave us a comment and let us know what you think about, really, I would say all 5 of these people, including Lauren, but Lauren, Carson, and then this final 3, Heidi, Carolyn, and Jam Jam. What did you think of everybody's game? Jam Jam's win, Heidi's decision to make fire against Carson and that falling flat. Your thoughts on this final 4 fire making thing generally, because you know I have strong opinions. Want to hear what you think about all of it.
Yes, we will be back, obviously, for 45 in the fall with 90-minute
exciting
episodes, you guys. Yeah, I was really excited about this final 5. I was excited about this final 3.
Yeah.
I thought this whole finale was pretty darn exciting.
Yeah.
And Atika won, you guys.
Atika won.
That was the most important thing.
That's
Atika
right.
had to win.
That's right.
To make this season.
Ugh.
Chef's kiss.
What a joy.
Yes. Oh, who knew that we were going to have the beauty of those Tika 3?
Yes.
So delicious. All right. Thank you guys for a wonderful season. We will see y'all next time.
All right. Bye.
Bye.